Hello ladies and gents, welcome to FACEIT TV. I'm DDK, this is James,
Hello.
This is Threats. Welcome to the show. Alright guys, how are you feeling?
I'm good. Had a walk around London, saw some interesting things. Now we're back for North America.
Do you want to expand on that? The story.
I think I know. You can see it on Twitter, which you can find right there.
Okay, alright guys. Okay, so this is FACEIT League, of course. So let's take a quick look at the format and remind you guys of what action we have going on here. Of course, it's a multi-regional. That means that there are multiple regions, guys. So we've got North America, we have Europe, and we've got Oceania. Of course, you can see that the most teams will advance for Europe, and 2 for NA, which concerns you, and of course 1 for Oceania. So let's take a look as well at the schedule so we can see what's going on here today. Of course, I'm sure you guys who just tuned in or had been already tuned in would have seen it, but for those who have just tuned in on the start of the broadcast, here are the matches today. We got Liquid versus Luminosity to kick things off on Mirage, then Neolin versus Liquid on Cash, then an hour break, and then we'll have Luminosity and Mirage, and no, wait, let me do that again guys. Luminosity versus CLG on Mirage. So a couple Mirages, a Cash. Looks like we have some exciting games here today. What are your guys' thoughts on Liquid and Luminosity?
It's very hard. I was going to say hard.
What? No. Wait.
Very what?
No, this is actually the Swedish word for hard. It's hård.
Yeah. Why did I use that?
I know these things. Because you're Swedish. Maybe that's why. Because that's your native language. Perhaps.
When I accidentally use a Swedish word, it has to be that one.
Yeah.
It's just bad luck.
Alright, we can't even banter the game sign. That sucks. This sucks. Alright, well we've got the knife going on here between Liquid and Luminosity. So basically, after I asked you your thoughts, and you got to about this is hot, this is hard. That's basically where we got to. So you have about 10 seconds to improve on this. You're really wasting your time right now in complete silence.
I'm gonna say it's. I would slightly favor Team Liquid, but it's very hard.
Okay.
Hard to call, but yeah.
Så jättehård. Alright. So that's great. That's great. Now James, please deliver some form of insight.
Can we have a very quick look at the rankings before this match starts, if possible? If possible.
Ooh. Can see the progression of these teams so far. We've got lots of matches to play. Actually, whilst we were away at Kiev, you were casting a lot of games, so it's actually quite cool for us to catch up here. Of course, Cloud9 playing all of their matches straight away, and they look pretty solid here. I mean, it's going to be hard to see someone actually top of them. They only had 2 losses. So
Yeah, we had to get Cloud9's games out of the way. They're they're travelling to London for Gfinity in a few days, and then they're going on a tour all over the place, basically, so they won't be able to play many more matches in the coming weeks. So they're 6 games ahead of most teams. Elevate actually have 7 games in the bag already, and they've only got 2 wins out of those 7 games. So they're not looking great to make the finals on this occasion. Luminosity, bottom of the leaderboard at the moment with 3 points from 4 games. However, they're only 3 points behind all the other teams, save for Cloud9 so far. So really it's all to play for here. Again, Elevate only have 3 games remaining, so you can't expect them to qualify. It's very unlikely, but the other teams, it's all up in the air.
yeah, so it's cool. It's cool to see actually. I think a lot of people will be relieved that Cloud9 actually managed to win most of their games because. Again, we've seen that they have had a period where they're able to, of course, do very well in the HTC Cup versus Liquid, and Liquid and Cloud9 do seem to be the top 2 teams, but there is always going to be slight issues maybe with some consistency because the lineups are still new. They're still actually working out a lot of stuff. So it's cool to see that they're going to be continuing to provide some dominance. Any things or any teams that you would rather see do better than they currly are to increase their chances to make the land?
Not particularly. Well, I mean, do better than they currently are. They're kind of all on the same pegging at the moment. You know, Elevate have had roster changes and they're not doing so well. So that aside, Cloud9 actually in the games I've been casting of them in the last week have looked markedly improved. Just a lot of small detail that maybe wasn't there previously. We're definitely seeing now. And again, Liquid following their last foray into Europe, where they didn't look very good at all actually. Again, they seem to have come very far as well. And again, it's like for both teams. I'm seeing a lot of attention to detail that wasn't necessarily there before. So I think that they are significantly ahead of all the other teams we're seeing. I'd say Keydstars aside, again, they didn't make it into the league, unfortunately for them. So apart from those guys, I'd say those two are far and ahead of the other North American teams at the moment. So I'd like to see them both qualify for that reason, because they are arguably the best two teams in the region at the moment.
I would like to see more from CLG. The games I've casted with them, you can see like glimpses of greatness from that team. Like sometimes they can even like play more. They play more like European style, I think. So if they can just be more consistent, because it seems like they struggle a lot in some games, I think they could become top 3 in NA. Maybe they are top 3 now, but they can compete with Liquid and Cloud9.
But when you say European style, can you remove the ambiguity here? Define this.
This is going to be so hard. Well, I mean, Europeans have, since they have better practice, they have easier time of getting like better basics, like better defaults. Well, stronger defaults. Just
so what's the default? Sorry, I just want to like
if you play more versus good teams, your default will be stronger because you're going to play better teams all the time, which means you will like get to meet different kinds of rounds and different kinds of like moves from the CTs, for example.
So by default, you mean like the default round you go to, which
As
gives you So for example, Dust 2, take over Catwalk, have options open towards Upper Dark and Longhouse, like stuff like that, basically, like how to play that properly. Okay, because actually it's funny because there's a lot of teams that you see that don't even have like have defaults, which is kind of weird sometimes to see. So yeah, that's actually quite an important point.
With regards to practice for CLG, actually, I think that's something from the evidence where Steel was helping coach them and so on. It didn't seem like practice was very strong. Let's be honest. So I think maybe, and again, young players and so on, I think maybe there was some discipline lacking outside of matches there. I hope that it's improved now. I have no idea if it has, but I sincerely hope so. But I think, generally speaking, the discipline might be poor for practice with some of the other teams. I can't speak for all of them, but I think that's something where, again, I think that's the difference we're seeing from Cloud9 and Liquid, is that I'm clearly seeing the fruits of their labor, whereas I wonder if some teams are putting in the labor. Yeah,
actually, this is something Threat and I were talking about earlier today, about like practice, and even in like some very, very top teams, sometimes you see some things and you're like, you actually wonder, what do they spend their time on in practice? Are they actually efficient? Are they actually looking at the right things? Because we see some situations where, like we had some situations with the NIP which like highlighted some rounds, and we're like, this seems like a really weird solution here. Like we had like a peak from Existence, Exist. Existence plays, doesn't play on NIP. A peak from Exist onto the A site to like just challenge Cannella straight up. This was the example we found. And so he peeked A main completely alone in a round where 5 are alive, trying to like pre-fire a spot where he knew Cannella could be. But that's incredibly inconsistent. He'd actually pull it off, but he's incredibly inconsistent. And it's like, if you feel like you have to do that, that seems like something's wrong there, because you're having to take like a heavily like minus EV play as a solution for an opening in a round. So that seems like they could have found something else there that's more consistent. So that brought into question, what are they practicing?
Yeah, and about practice in both NA and Australia and the Oceanic region. I've spoken with players from both those regions. It seems like a lot of the teams, they try to actually win the practice game instead of focusing on winning tournaments. And that's actually a big difference, because if you go in with the mindset you always have to win the practice games, you're never going to practice what you suck at.
Exactly.
And that's very important. You're never going to get better. If you win a round 3 times in a row on practice, why would you keep doing it? It's not like, oh, let's win the practice. Okay, we know this works now. If you're going to use it more, you're basically showing that round to like maybe you will play that team in a tournament later. It makes no sense whatsoever. And like some players even said that they stopped playing at 16 rounds during practice games, which is also like madness.
Yeah,
because like let's say you start T-Train and you lose 14-1, and then you lose the pistol round. Then you don't even get to like work on your CT side.
Yeah, just to point out for those of you who are unfamiliar, when teams scrim behind closed doors, they play all 30 rounds regardless of who reaches 16 or what, because it's practice, right? So the 16 isn't really the point. The point is, as Fred said, to fix things that are broken and improve things that are good.
So it's actually quite a funny point because I remember back in the day with Quake as well, you saw exactly the same behaviors. But back then there were way less tournaments to actually play. So it kind of made sense that, you know, some players would be like, oh, well, the practice is the most important thing, and I won't even like play certain people because basically, like, after you've beaten them a few times, because even if they're the best practice for you, because basically like then the whole like judgment of who was good or not was actually on practice because there's no tournaments really, or very few tournaments to play. So then like to like be perceived as good in the social circle was like actually very important to a lot of people. But you kind of mature past that eventually. But I think that's a very common mistake that some people fall into when they're like less mature players. They're like are unsure like really how to prioritize.
That's very interesting because that's still around even in the like in the top teams. Usually you don't see Swedish team playing Swedish teams, and that's just due to that, because if you're playing a random team from another country, you don't know them like socially at all. You don't care at all if you lose to them. But if you're playing, like say NRP is playing Fnatic, and they all know each other so well, and they're losing on practice, and they're like, oh my god, they're thinking that they're so much better than us. And then you can like actually start to become annoyed with that fact, and that's why you usually don't see those teams practicing versus each other, because then they will have the mindset of we have to win, and then you don't get the practice out of it that you need.
This is actually something that like infuriates me massively because like I'm like a heavily competitive person. So whenever I go into like any of these teams and stuff like that, everything is 100% about winning. And sometimes to win and have like the best outcome, you need to completely set aside your ego and all these like these stupid things. And one of the things that we'll see, for example, I know that this is the reputation of Rattlesnake, for example, so I'm just going to throw him under the bus. And I'm sure he's familiar with this reputation in the community. So he's very toxic to his players during matches. Now, I've never been on a team with him during a match, so I don't know if it's true, but just for the sake of the argument. I mean,
Daze was as well.
Daze is a good example, actually, yeah, because I actually heard that firsthand at LAN. So, so basically, this is a situation where you say that you want to win more than anything else, yet you're going to do something that will lessen the chance for you to win in a match by
berating.
Berating your. I actually stopped myself. By berating your teammates mid-match. So you're gonna.
I thought you were going to say shouting.
Negatively affect them. I totally was. Negatively affect them during the match, which will lessen your chance to win massively. It's a team game. So you can't be someone that says I want to win no matter what. If you're someone that does those behaviors, because if you think about it for 5 seconds, you surely must know it's going to hurt your chances to win. Well, you must know that.
I can agree with you to some extent, but like everyone has like bad sides.
Yeah.
Even though I can agree with you, like the example with Dazed and Rattlesnake, that's very bad behavior because it affects the team so much.
Yeah.
And I can agree with you on that like particular point, but you can still like have bad behavior even though you're a person that wants to win all the time.
Yeah. I mean, it comes hand in hand because you want to win so badly that like that's the thing is that you're so invested in it that it can make you so annoyed. But I remember that this was actually one of the hardest things to deal with, anything psychological with the team. And whenever I was trying to lead teams, like so much of I found that it's so important to like try to consistently like crack down on good behaviors on TeamSpeak, for example. That was like so important because when one guy starts whining, for example, this is like the worst thing. If one guy starts whining, it gives permission to everybody else to start whining about something in the game, and then you have this like hugely negative atmosphere, and it's really hard. It gets out of control, and it's really hard to actually perform properly then, because when the communication breaks down, then you have a lot of issues.
That sounds like the kind of camel and the straw situation, because it reminds me of when I used to, when I had time to play football on Sundays. Now I'm casting Oceanic matches, but we would have like, there's one guy who he's always going to call a foul like all the time. And then people argue and waste time, and I used to get involved in that kind of way, but now I just leave them to their own devices. I think maybe it's something that comes along with age, but one thing that was that all this reminds me of actually, well, maybe two things is, you know, firstly, there's like negative and positive reinforcement. Like if something goes wrong, you can say to someone, you know, like say you have a CT who overextends. Or let's say a producer who, for example, who doesn't have a walk button, he just runs everywhere. You could say, you could say like, why did you run to the bomb site? Or you could say, you should try walking to the bomb site. You know, rather than saying, oh, why did you do this? Like just with no suggestion, you could rather than just have the straight criticism there, just make a suggestion like, you know, you should consider walking to the bomb site to, you know, all this kind of thing. Or if someone overextends, and it's quite, it reminds me of, for those of you who are familiar with Street Fighter, Infiltration from Korea, when I used to play with Laugh, and Laugh used to always be on stage whispering in his ear, it was always like, he'd give like mild suggestions. Like, let's say he would be like, oh, when your opponent's in the corner, you should consider going for a sweep every 3 or 5 seconds or something like that, or just a slight suggestion, as opposed to why aren't you sweeping him in the corner? You know,
exactly.
There are 2 ways of doing things. One is a positive reinforcement, like you can say like, oh, that was, you know, you got unlucky there, maybe pushing a bit too far down a slope or whatever. Maybe you should try playing a more passive route. You know, there's that kind of thing which makes people think, or there's the one where that they feel more pressure to do well. Which actually reminds me, there was a friend of mine was sponsored by a UK organisation, and he was sent to Paris one day to do a Street Fighter tournament, and he was in the middle of the tournament, he was doing well in the winner's bracket, and the owner called him up and said, look, if you don't make top 4, we're going to cut you from the team. Right? And that was the first event.
What?
That was the first event.
That's the worst thing ever.
Exactly. And that was the first event he had ever been sent to. The first event.
That is ridiculous.
Like he was a brand new player sponsored for them.
Ridiculous.
The guy was a complete
idiot.
Imbecile. But that's another example of just, like, that is not the kind of thing you need to give your players. It's not helping them. It's handicapping them.
But it's like this. Yeah, this is the concept of like the ego thing. Because if it's like the difference between what feels like an attack to your ego versus not any attack towards the ego at all, which is what you're suggesting. Like last thing, you can try this, you can try that. Like not saying what this person's doing is wrong, because some people can take it really well actually. Some people, you know, they have more of a balance towards self-esteem than being more ego-driven individuals. It's like it's completely different from everyone else. For everyone, sorry. And so yeah, that diplomatic approach is so important. Yeah, so important. You get so much out of that, to be honest.
Yeah, and it's difficult as well. Like, as you said, you have to be careful. Like, there's we've had a few teams recently, like boot camping here, but there was one of them where, you know, they're running through demos and so on, and things got a bit heated because one particular player, like, he was being poked a lot about this and that, and he started to get irritated about it. So it can be, you know,
you can go.
It is tricky, and you need to know your players and know which ones or how you treat each one. But yeah, these are important things that definitely contribute to a positive team. So as you can see, guys, we've had a bit of a delay because, well, you can't see, it's not there. We had a little bit of a delay because we had to update the Steam servers, well, the Counter-Strike servers, because just an update came on just before we went live. It's pretty much done now. We're just waiting for one more player to connect to the server, and we will be into the match. But no, this has been interesting things that we've spoken about here. And actually, that's one of the things that made CLG super popular. If you remember the G2A Cup we did across December and January, when they were all streaming basically, and they were listening to the comms of Peter keeping the team calm and keeping them focused and so on, and people thoroughly enjoyed that. And it was really cool to watch as well, because we had like we started fairly early European time for North American matches. I think we had one semi-final and then the final in the same day, and they went all the way through it basically. So you know, people got to hear their comms and thoroughly enjoyed them.
Yeah, it's actually one of the hardest but most satisfying things when it comes to a team is getting the players together. And if you can actually find players that will stick together with the same goals, then having players that you can kind of grow with. Because you'll always go through, like, everyone's always going to have a fight. Like, I've never been in a team that I had, a serious team, where you didn't have a fight with somebody. Or, like, there's some internal drama that wasn't there. But it's, like, growing past it, growing through it. And if you can manage to do that, that can be very satisfying, actually, as an experience. And it can really make you a lot stronger. But it's so tough, though. It's so hard sometimes.
And you have to get some drama. If you're like discussing how to play a certain map and people disagree, like if there's no drama, then they don't really care about what you're trying to do. So you like have to get into some fights and just try to find a compromise.
Yeah, so but let's get into some fights, guys.
Yeah, fist fight.
Go for some.
That's how we do it.
You gotta fight
the winner gets to decide. Okay, let's go B.
Tic tac, right hook.
And one more thing that's actually interesting about the communication in CS, which I never heard anyone talk about this, is the tone of your voice and how you value information. And I have a really good example of this. I played with a player back in the day called Nico. He played in Lions, maybe old school 1.6 players have heard of him. But he had a problem where he always had the same tone in his voice. He was very calm, and like that couldn't be a good thing. But let's say you get out of long on Dust2 alone, for example, because you're the lurker there. And you walk out and you have 3 people from the back, and like everybody's talking about the information on the other side of the map. You can't be like, oh guys, I have 3 people in the back. I'm going towards them now. Whilst we're talking, like, we completely ignore that information and the rest of the, like, everything that's going on in TeamSpeak. And then you have to like yell and just try to quiet down everyone. Like, I have 3 guys from the back. Let's cancel everything.
From the back.
from the back.
Yeah, there's a sense of urgency, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And
in the relevant parts.
Yeah, and that's actually very important. That's something that comes with playing with the same players for a long time. But because then you learn to know their voice when they like really mean something. But this is actually quite important. How if they say there's a B rush on Dust 2, and you're the guy defending.
Wait. What's the difference between the B rush and the B rush? Why are two different things?
Because
guys, it's a B rush. I'm no hands right now. Somebody block me. Someone cover me. I gotta do B rush.
I'm actually trying to get to this point. Why I did a B rush?
Okay.
So if it's a full commit from the terrorists, or if it's just a few nades and one guy running in, usually you can hear the guy defending on just the tone of his voice how much of a B rush it actually is.
Yeah.
Everyone who plays CS
knows
what I'm talking about.
While I call the B rush.
Yeah,
I understand though. Yeah,
because sometimes I mean, if you play matchmaking and you're playing B and like you say, "Oh, 2 flashes B, I spot one guy," and like the entire team just rotates over and they just go away. Oh my god! It like doesn't work that way.
You people at home, right? If you hear a person B, don't just say B. That's not useful information. You have to say, I hear 1 B, or I hear some B. It could be 2, it could be 4, it could even be 5 guys. But
or you can say,
we need the information.
I think it's a B rush.
Yeah.
The funny thing actually in Quake World, when I was focusing a lot on communication within the team, because in Quake World there's like so much information going on at once, and there's so much of it that is important. It's really important to like understand how to create the proper flow chart, I suppose, or information flow basically. You have to make it sure that it's very efficient. And so I mean, it wasn't like that specifically, but tone of voice. But what is very important, and the behavior that you can draw across as well, is that you should always actually get demos and record the voice that you're playing in practices, and understand how efficient your ability to convey information is, and how you can improve that, because it is a huge edge to do it properly. But we're into the match, it seems. We have the pistol between Luminosity and Liquid.
Two smokes here on Luminosity, so should be a execute here. Probably gonna smoke stairs and smoke city spawn.
Right, well we have what looks to be like the push coming in very shortly. Nitro's going to toss in an HE, and it's going to be Anger moving out first onto the side. So dropping very quickly out of the palace area, which is awesome. You get down so quickly, and they're going to be trying to push into CT spawn, which is really nice. But there's 2 players there for Liquid, as right now the other players Liquid are towards connector, and they're stuck behind smokes. This is really nice here, and flowsicK's going to run into a double peek, and he's going to get eliminated. So very well played so far by Luminosity. But can we get Liquid now, as the smokes have gone away from connector on the retake, and they're actually going for straight up for the defuse here. Oh my god, adreN's just going to straight up get the defuse, and that is an oversight from that play. They even get smoked off at spawn. That is awesome.
That is straight up embarrassing.
Yeah, that's...
And that's the power of the smokes as CT, and we have been seeing this a lot in the meta recently, to buy 1 or 2 smokes as CT and just go for that power diffuse. And as we talked about earlier today, even if you don't get that diffuse, you force the terrorists out into such awkward positions that you're probably going to win the round anyway. So it's very strong to buy 1 or 2 smokes as CT.
Liquid going for the big guns. 4 FAMASs will appear, along with a P90. All the T's headed towards the B bomb site again. Now they've got all the nades, and I wonder if we will see an execute similar to what Titan did just a few days ago, because
maybe even the G play.
Often in North America we see a lack of execute when these nades come in, but seems Luminosity have a specific plan in mind. Let's see where these smokes have gone down. They've got one to field a site, but flowsicK has put himself in a nice angle to stop any sneaky bomb plots. He'll find himself 2 frags before he gets traded. EliGE and adreN coming in to get more work done. They won't stop the bomb plant. It'll go down just in time. Liquid though surviving with 3 players. That wasn't anywhere near the Titan execute actually. It was very different indeed. But it was nice to see an execute nonetheless.
They didn't throw a single flash through the smoke or towards Snacks. Snacks is a position where you jump up the car and stand straight to the right from the terrorist when they try to push out B, so he could just stand there.
Interestingly, there's a very basic flashbang. People throw flashbangs off the roof, but you can just bounce it off the right wall through the window on the left, and that would have flashed the position flowsicK was in, and he got himself 2 kills there. So that one flashbang could have won them the round.
Yeah, that flash is very easy to throw and very hard to miss.
They got 2 players close to T slope at the moment though, and this could be really powerful because this is exactly what's going to be well, the hot spot of this push from Luminosity is they're going to make their way through now, and oh, this is so dangerous right now for Luminosity, but they're going to get the first kill. Peter's going to get that one, but the trades are coming in, and actually Luminosity not doing too poorly. They got multiple kills coming in now. pyth will chime in with a kill onto adreN as well, and now it's FugLy and flowsicK in for the retake.
They've got to plant the bomb though, and it's just about made its way to the site. So they're going to have, they're not going to really have time to get themselves into post-plant positions. They will try and get caught in the open by the remaining 2 players of Liquid. They won't lose any more players. That plant will help the buy in the coming round from Luminosity. But again, I do wonder about the choices made there once the bomb was planted. I think one player tried to get from the site to Shadow with no cover, and obviously the FAMAS was going to prove to be far too much to handle. But nonetheless, they found the plant. They will get the buy, which will be 5 AKs and considerable nades.
I wish actually we would have seen the G play B execute, well, the B fake. That's something we can talk about a little bit later as we go into the buy round. Very effective play on this map, but are they just going to go for a straight up execute here? This could be, without taking mid control or anything. Liquid, I think if there's enough delay, Liquid could actually figure this out.
Yeah, I wonder what LeX's purpose is here. It could be that he goes to underpass and tries to hold rotates, but with 2 people already pushing up mid here from Team Liquid, he could be wasted on the team. You can see EliGE starting to move into A now. Passive angle in Palace from LeX, as is common from T's. You can see Taz often holding a similar position. flowsicK now pushing up top mid. Again, he's got a EliGE coming to just check underpass so he won't be flanked. And Luminosity are waiting. But with nobody mid, they are going to lose a lot of map control, a lot of information. You can see LeX ready to throw a smoke. But, well, here we go. He's going to, in fact, take down EliGE looking for information while the push comes in from Luminosity. Can flowsicK get there in time?
Yeah, he's got such a good position. They don't have any idea. He's even got the silencer, so they may not even ever know that he's there. The bomb is going to go down, and there's 3 players left for Luminosity as NiTRO picks up another one to make it down to 2 now. And honestly, it's looking really hard for them in this position. They are completely locked down. The bomb is down in the open, and there's even incendiaries going down as well. Nice shot there from adreN. And the last player will be spotted. Anger by the shadow area now. So actually they've done a good amount of kills here. And oh, Anger gets a second one as well towards the connector. adreN falls. And now it is the one-on-one. But flowsicK is close. And he's going to go up onto the pass. Great positioning. Oh, just fluffing it a little bit there. And that's going to be Anger saving the round. But I feel like Luminosity there, or rather Liquid there, they had a way better setup just to win that easily. Felt like the individual play was really what saved Luminosity.
Yeah, I don't understand why Luminosity just waited so long to do the execute, because it didn't gain any ground on the map. That must be some kind of counterplay towards versus Liquid. But maybe they know that they just push after a certain amount of time or something.
Because that's so much time for Liquid to get information about what they're doing. It's for free.
Well, Liquid will find themselves in a horrible situation here. FugLy with full nades and an M4 versus the rest of his team pretty much going for the eco. That is a superb nade. I don't think my calculator has enough digits for the amount of damage that did. But here comes the push. Flashes coming in as well. Going to see more flashes, which will flash another 2 players for Luminosity, but no frags yet for either side, which is very important. 3 players on the site here for Liquid. adreN getting the first frag. LeX going to take him down, and FugLy will fall as well as flowsicK. So frags coming in for both sides. The M4's down for Liquid now, just reduced to NiTRO versus 3. But again, these are all within tapping distance.
Yeah, they're coming in though. NiTRO with a quick frag with the CZ onto Anger. 2 players left. They're both pretty tagged from that grenade, but he's got no HP himself and no Kevlar. Oh, nice there from NiTRO onto pyth. Just Peter left, and he could absolutely pull this one off. But there it is. Peter will get the kill, and that was another round where I felt like Liquid had the right play. But I think FugLy just, I mean, he didn't get those kills when they were flash. He got the perfect flash off. He played it really well, but just couldn't execute onto the frags.
Just a lack of good weapons when it came to that retake. If they would have all had rifles, I think they would have won that round.
Yeah, no armor wouldn't help either. So, Liquid onto another eco. adreN, EliGE, flowsicK opting for armor. They've got some smokes as well. So maybe they fancy their chances at doing considerable damage to the T side. This flash going to go in, but it's not a deep flash. LeX will be punished for standing in that position. We've got that Bondic-esque smoke into the Palace area. Liquid trying to look away from potential flashbangs, but it was a gun and did mean the end of adreN. flowsicK, only one remaining now, and he will be soon to fall. Only one player taken down from Luminosity, and Liquid spent a lot of money to do that as well.
But they will have the buy now going into the next round. So they really need to get it done here because they need to get a hold of a good economy. And Luminosity are really starting to post a lot of rounds. And Luminosity actually seemingly besting them in a lot of individual skill positions. So if that can keep up, actually, they might get a lot of T rounds here. 4 players into B-Apps as well for Luminosity.
Yeah, maybe they will try to go for the executed it on the force buy.
Well, we will see. There is a gap in the corner of that smoke. So Luminosity will need to be careful as FugLy... Oh, he's going to get the smoke grenade out at the wrong time. Here comes the push. He won't find a frag on this occasion. Anger going to jump out the window, get traded by flowsicK. Trade's going back by pyth. Man advantage. Luminosity, EliGE coming in with a flank from short. He'll get smoked off. Tries to jump and peek and find someone. Gets a bit of a tag onto NAF-FLY, but they'll know his position now. But this will be a hard retake for Liquid. EliGE will be stuck behind the smoke for a while. In danger of being naded here by the T side as well. LeX going to up his position. But he will not find a frag. EliGE going through the fire. 2 versus 2. EliGE taking down another player there, leaving it just down to NAF-FLY in the apps. adreN has a kit. And they've spotted him now. NAF will change up his position, and he might do enough damage here and waste enough time to stop this defeat from coming in. Indeed, it will be too late for EliGE. And NAF will get the last frag as well.
So well played by NAF to just drop through the apartment straight away and not think, oh, I've got to kill this guy, and just going around to get the player who was on the defuse. That was really nice by NAF.
Yeah, great read from NAF. He probably realized that the second CT was jumping up the car, and he could just circumvene him and just jumping up the window and killing the diffuser at the same time. So great play from NAF-FLY there.
Team Liquid's economy will be ruined. Luminosity with 4 rounds on the board already. This is quite good for them. Nice 2-tap by FugLy, and adreN comes in for the second kill. 2-man spray down. Sweet revenge here for Luminosity. But they're losing players all over the map here. And I don't know, 20 seconds has passed. They've lost 4 players with an eco from Liquid. They've picked up an AWP and AK. And EliGE is still running around with a deagle, having the time of his life. The bomb has been lost by NAF-FLY. The only thing going his way at the moment is that he has a minute to... you can see he's reset the situation by completely changing up his angle of approach. If he can take out one of these Liquid players before they set up a triangle of doom, then maybe he can get some work done. He does still have armor, a smoke, a nade, and the Molotov. These can all be useful tools here. But he needs to clear out these angles one by one. As soon as he finds one person, there we go, then his position will be known and things will start to get difficult. So the smoke comes out. That molly should give him an idea of where to throw the nade, and that might not have been the best idea from EliGE.
Oh, amazing ace.
And adreN will go down as well.
And just the clutches for Luminosity right now, winning 2 1v3s and that 1v2 at B for NAF-FLY as well. So Liquid is actually outplaying Luminosity strategically, but just losing all their clutches.
Yeah, it sucked for them. Obviously, having no armor, etc., it was always going to be hard for Liquid to hold there, especially as he reset the situation. As soon as he gets that first frag, and again, with all the nades he had, he really had, like, it was kind of, he was in MacGyver mode there. He had the twig, he had the elastic band, and he made it work.
Yeah, it was really nice to see. Just a perfect play. And Luminosity now 5-3. So Liquid, they got a buy going for themselves, so they aren't in trouble in this round on the resources, but what they have to play with. But we do have the A setup coming in once again from Luminosity. They've favored to do this a few times, and it's actually gone pretty well off the back of their individual skill, actually. As both times Liquid have had good setups to deal with it, we just couldn't get those clutches going, and it's going to be the first frag by EliGE. In comes Anger, they're able to take one onto Nitro, but things looking pretty laboured here, thanks to flowsicK from Liquid. But NAF going to come in with Peter over the top by Connector, taken, and no prisoners, sorry, as NAF is the only one left alive. And this should not be doable this time. He's stuck in a corner, there's fire, there's bullets, there's explosions, and NAF surely won't make this happen. He's got one frag there, gets the second one as well, I don't believe it. Actually could make this work, but it's going to be flowsicK who pulls out the kill, and it's happening again and again, it's crazy.
Yeah, that would have been so weird if he managed to win the third 1v3 in 9 rounds.
NAF is going absolutely ham in this match.
Yeah, they're getting themselves a lot of 1v1 situations there. But again, like, Liquid weren't peaking in a way where they could trade in that situation. So they need to fix that quickly. Luminosity heading over towards the B-bomb site now. This is a very back and forth, bit of a crazy game. But I'm definitely enjoying it. So
NAF actually bought an AWP here. How much money does he have? Okay, so they just went for the full force, but one player has 2k, which is kind of weird. Everyone else has no money.
We're seeing that flashbang that might have been missing the previous time, but the positions actually changed for the CTs on this occasion. The first frag will still come in though on the FugLy. 2 players coming in from short. flowsicK going to go down. That flash was for where he was in the previous rounds, but he'll go down regardless of no frags. First frag coming in for Liquid now. adreN taking down Anger. We've got NAF in the apps. He will... Oh, that AWP might give his position away to the CT coming through the apps, but he's going to come and look just in time. No scope. Take down the player in the window as well of the shop, and NAF-FLY is going absolutely nuclear at the moment.
He is just taking so much damage straight to Liquid every round. Those 2 kills were really phenomenal with the AWP, and Luminosity going to win this round. They just forced it up, and it was a weird buy as well because one of the players had $2k left in the bank whilst everyone else had spent everything. So kind of nuts, but it's going to be another round for Luminosity. And Liquid, what the hell do they do right now? Because this is one of those positions where it's like, well, we're doing everything right, but we're still not winning. That's what it must feel like for Liquid.
FugLy did have a very aggressive position at B towards the corridor. Usually when you get blinded, you want to fall back to the back of the B site so you can just buy time and wait for your teammates. But he decided to go for the fights there versus the Tech-9. Just went down immediately.
So, Team Liquid... Oh, actually, they've got a lot of frags when they've been on the eco here, but this eco is a lot worse for them. As we've got next to no pistols purchased, only a P250 on flowsicK. So it's going to come down to adreN to try and open up the round for his team, try and find himself some guns. And where is adreN? Here he is, and he will not win a single duel. He's going to go down immediately, leaving only flowsicK. So not much to report there.
This really feels like Luminosity are going to win this match because of the way things are going. From just the fact that they're just getting all the clutches, all the individual fights. It feels like Liquid could be forced into some mistakes soon. Because it's one of those situations where, again, like you're making probably better decisions than the other team overall, but you're just losing the aim battles, which is, I mean, you can be the best decision maker in the game, but if you can't shoot people, then you can't win in Counter-Strike. So that's what's coming down to here.
You can see the nades are quite limited for Team Liquid at the moment. And a very small point, at the end of the last round, pyth picked up an M4A4 for NAF-FLY.
Aggressive push in mid though for Liquid. Are they going to make the same push as before? If Luminosity are as slow as before, then Liquid could get a big edge here.
They're going to go for an A fake here, and the bomb is going to probably just try to walk out B.
And the rotation is working, as the B bomb site has been completely vacated by Liquid. FugLy is going to head back in there though, although he's going to have to get a lot of work in if he is to hold this down for his team. I think they've heard some sounders. There are more players rotating through, and there are 2 players rotating for the T's who are going to meet a player in spawn, but they're going to take him down without much trouble. 3 versus 2 now, and where's the bomb going to be planted for? Oh, he's going to plant it for short, moves across the site, spotted a player here. That would be flowsicK. He'll get taken down, and they'll just kill everyone. Elimination bonus. Let's go.
They are just winning every fight. This is awesome here from Luminosity. This is so cool to see them playing at this level individually. And that was quite funny as well, the push up mid. I was almost thinking, oh no, for Liquid, because it'd be like a false positive, because he saw people in T spawn and think, oh, it's going to be an A execute, when really it was a B fake. And that actually happened. They started rotating everyone to A then. So crazy play from Luminosity. They're making this work. 8-4 is such an awesome scoreline.
So many ecos for Team Liquid, and here is yet another one. This time it's full P250s. The P250 party. Bring your own hats. NAF-FLY going to take down EliGE to start things off. Nitro getting 1 frag. They'll see if they can do any more. He'll pick up an M4 for all of a second. He'll be naded, blasted into oblivion here. Anger, did he not see flowsicK in connector there? Ah, there was a smoke that was invisible on the screen for a second, so that would explain it. Losing 2 players, Luminosity. Not going to be too fussed, sorry. They've got enough money for the remaining 2 rounds.
Yeah, let's see what they decide to do here. Maybe they will try to go for that same fake, or maybe just an A execute. We haven't seen any default round here from Luminosity yet. They just go for the executes right away and just try to win the clutches after the plant.
Well, it's been working so far. They've been winning a lot of clutches. Anger as well as NAF, they've both been really hot at the moment, and it's EliGE who will get the frag with an underpass push. So Liquid trying to mix it up with some aggression, and that underpass push is going to force the quick play from Luminosity onto the B1 site, and FugLy defends the first player. pyth goes down, and Luminosity are quite spread out. They cannot play the trades very well at the moment, so this is actually working really well for Liquid. They should win this round from this position. 5 versus 3. The T's are not on the bomb site just yet, and FugLy is going to get multiple frags. And finally, Liquid are going to win one of these buy rounds.
There we go, surviving with 4 players. But, I mean, at this point, there's only 1 round left, so it matters little how many players they survive with, although their money is a bit ropey, but they'll get their full buyout on this occasion.
So this means that Liquid have only won 2 buy rounds on the CT side of Mirage.
Yeah, it's been a weird one. AWP coming out for Peter as well as adreN, who will continue his from the previous round. Let's have a look at what the setup is. I think there's an early underpass push here from the CTs. Indeed, it's EliGE. He's going to find himself 1 frag. Insta-trade there by pyth. So early disadvantage, although flowsicK taking down Anger will give the Liquid a man advantage at least. And with 3 players, a push is not going to be easy here for Luminosity. But again, we'll have to see if Liquid commit an extra man to one site or how they will play their 4 players. Especially with mid, which currently has no eyes on it. The bomb was top mid for a second, but looks like the rotation is going to come into A as LeX has an advanced position.
Yeah, it's going to be LeX by Sandwich, who is trying to make some space for his team. But it's just going to announce the presence to Liquid, and they are slowly rotating everyone but 1 player over, and they are going to get the good angles. There is no smoke to really block them off, to be honest, and LeX needs to get something done here. He's got to get this kill on the peak as he's looking for the first player, finds him by connector, and he will get the frag indeed. And Peter's there with that AWP long range. Can they bait a player out? He will spot him, get the tag as well, and that's going to... Oh, that was fantastic there from Peter, popping off the head of Nitro with the AWP, and that's a 2-on-2. Time is an issue though, 30 seconds to play with, but the bomb is going to go down. Oh, and FugLy with a great one-on-one there, long range, will take it down, and Peter is alone. Must clutch here for him to bring it to the 10th round. Oh, he misses the first shot. That is critical right now because he's down to 4 HP. They're going to try to peek him both at the same time. Peter's missed too many shots at this point. Surely Liquid have this in the bag right now as the flames go down and they go in, but it's going to be the defuse coming in from adreN. He's just going to sit on it, and this could be the opportunity for Peter if he can get there in time, but he can't. It's going to be the defuse, and Liquid will win the round, but still it's a very nice half for Luminosity.
Yeah, 9-6 is nothing to complain about. That is a monster T round.
After losing the pistol round.
Yeah.
This just unheard of. So very well played from Luminosity. Maybe not strategically, but individually.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we'll see if what Liquid have in the bag, or if they even have a bag. Looks like Luminosity stole it in that half. Do you have the bag, Dan?
Everyone has a bag.
You know, it was Father's Day recently, and everyone was tweeting about Father's Day and stuff. I didn't see anybody tweeting Big Daddy Kane, though.
Who's that, James?
I knew that was coming. I'm not talking to you anymore.
I have no clue either.
You're Swedish, I'll forgive you. I doubt Big Daddy Kane's popular in Sweden. Unless he is. I mean, let me know, but I guess you don't know. If you're Swedish, let me know if Big Daddy Kane is popular in Sweden. I'd be surprised if he was. I'll have to do some educating on you, Dan.
I was surprised if
someone from
Sweden's watching right now. It's super late.
Oh, I've no doubt there are Swedish people watching. It's a guarantee.
Tjena, vad gör du?
We have a Molotov on Anger here on the pistol round, and smoke, flash, nade on pyth. So only option to go for 1 smoke. I would rather see LeX buying a smoke instead of a HE there.
There's an ace here though from LG. They got...
Oh, it's a fail Molotov!
Might actually help if it's in a good spot, but I don't think it was, as it's going to be adreN now who's going to pick up the kill onto Anger. So they have actually completely cleaned out the site. They have now got the bomb down as well, so Luminosity are in for quite a retake.
Indeed they are. There's a smoke into short. Has the tiniest of gaps, but not very useful. Smoke is gone. So let's see if they can do this. A nice open there from Peter. 2 frags for the CT side versus the one of the Ts, but the Ts will prove victorious. Nitro and flowsicK surviving to have the dance party on the B-bomb side.
And Liquid actually has an opening back into this game. If they win these 2 rounds in a row now and don't lose any force buy from Luminosity, and then let's say they lose the first weapon round, maybe killing 2 or 3 players, and then win the round after that, they can reset Luminosity's money. It's doable, as long as they can keep control of the economy.
Maybe Luminosity are the G-Play of America.
No.
G-Play were very execute heavy, and but on the default CT rounds they couldn't really string together the proper team play and strategies. But on the T side they're very strong. Either way,
Anger's holding a pop flash for Slope with 4 men. 4 Luminosity men on the a bomb site.
Yeah, I like the stack. Also, they didn't fall by here right, as well, which is I really like that. I'm very pleased to see that. In Europe, we're seeing so many force fires, and I don't think that these days it's nearly as strong as it used to be. And the CT economy is so important, as Threat already just mentioned.
Well, they are headed into the stack. They're going to the haystack down there. It's full of needles. But how sharp are the needles?
If they use their Molotovs and HEs here, it shouldn't be a problem for Team Liquid.
Yeah, it is possible to Molotov the shadow area, and that's going to be one of the most important parts. And indeed, he is going to Molotov the shadow area with a flashbang, actually, trying to blind the player to die in the fire. He will die to the bullets, however. That's a nice cleanup from Liquid, not losing a single player.
And that was a textbook anti-eco from Liquid. Just
really nice.
Yeah, looking for any aggression from Luminosity, waiting until maybe 40-50 seconds left of the round, and just pushing a site together, using all the nades before they push in, try to zone all the awkward positions out, and then just go in for the plant.
I love textbooks.
Are we actually going to see another like half? Well, just a minor investment here from Luminosity, which is good. And they're going to take it to underpass with loads of players. The bomb is actually down outside the apartment, so they might be able to get some control of it if they get maybe a kill and maybe even run a player back. But we'll have to see if they go for that. And in comes the flank, and oh my goodness, FugLy's going to find both players. They're going to turn around and take them both down. That is very unfortunate there. I think that's a great opportunity for Luminosity to get some kills on the board. But yeah, I really respect that anti-eco from Liquid. It was exactly what you want to see. I mean, I guess the only extra thing you could have done is send someone B apartments to slowly just push it to see if it's maybe empty. That's something that some of the best European teams are very good at doing, because then when it's very empty, you kind of can cancel the execute into the stack just in the nick of time and get a free bomb site. But they did that so well.
Yeah, 2 perfect anti-ecos there from Liquid, only losing 1 player in both these rounds. However, Luminosity went for full ecos and did not force buy, so they will have a lot of money to work with this round.
All right.
Oh, this nade. Is this a timing nade? Is this a timing nade? Please throw the nade. Oh, they've spotted a player. Boom, and there it is. 3 points there for pyth. Pyth.
Pyth. Actually, it's pyth. Pyth. If you want to go if you want to go full Swedish.
NAF-FLY going to take down adreN as well. So the Team Liquid train is rolling to a halt at the moment. 3 players left, and I think Mirage is one of the more awkward maps to have 3 players left to try and push a site. Can get lost in mid. Although EliGE will find the first frag for the T side. Tide has just tied things up.
Yeah, that player in Palace as well could be a little bit of an indication as to what Liquid actually want to do here, because this guy can really help in this A push, and he's going to go down, and that's really unfortunate, because had he stayed alive, now they've boosted CPL, they could have had to actually attack from 3 locations at once, which would have been very strong, but they're not even looking towards jungle, as they were not aware of no one had eyes on CPL, and now it's going to be an issue here, potentially. If FugLy can go ham like he's been doing in some of these past rounds, then they could have issues. Now he's going to spot the next player, doesn't get the kill, goes down to 1 HP, so you don't like his chances from this point, but Peter's got the AWP, won't miss that shot, and it will be the round for Luminosity. So that's really important that they did lose 3 players, but they've won their first CT buy round. So, by the way, also, because they didn't force buy, they could have an AWP, they could have grenades, and that was a very big difference in that round.
Yeah, the HE actually got them the entry kill of the round.
Exactly, like, this, yeah.
Bish bash bosh. Second buy coming out for Liquid here. All AKs, lots of nades as well, so weapons for both teams. Liquid appear to be looking for an A execute.
Will they go for the smokes on the site, or will they go for the more deeper smokes toward jungle and city spawn?
We are about to find out. I think they're going for that smoke that blocks off the vision of Connector from the toll booth area. And we've got the flashes off the wall as well. Indeed, they are, but LeX's position is a strong one. And it is something that has to be checked properly. There's going to be 1 player pushing out. No trades there for the T's so far. 3 frags coming in for Luminosity, so the hold looks solid for them at the moment. And FugLy will take down Peter. CT is empty at present, with the remaining T's across jungle and Connector.
He's so afraid to plant, though, because he doesn't have a smoke down. He's going to just try to go for the frags here. This is actually kind of smart, because there is time to play with, and by this time, there can be a CT there. So he just wants to get more frags down here. Oh, nice shot there by Nitro. Gets the second flick. So nice there from Nitro. The third player, the last remaining one for Luminosity, is Anger, and he is by jungle. He's announced his presence as well. So Liquid now with an advantage in this situation. Post plant, and they're going to make it happen. Beautiful play there from Nitro.
And this was a disastrous opening for Luminosity, which we talked about earlier. Losing the pistol round, losing 3 rounds in a row, winning the first weapon round, but losing 3 to 4 players, and then losing the round after. Team Liquid is looking to go into 12 rounds here before Luminosity can answer.
They had a strong start to that round as well. Team Liquid, they had their set smokes out, but I don't know if they were clearing the site optimally there, because had a player just run into Sandwich, expose himself to Shadow, 5 boxes, and that sneaky position I don't even have a name for, and got taken down by the last one there.
It seemed like there was a lot of time, maybe a little bit too much spent on throwing nades instead of coordinating into the site after a certain point. But we do have a push there on slope here from LeX. He will spot the lineup rotating back towards A, and it might not even really matter all that much in a round like this, but yeah, it's definitely going to be hard to see Luminosity bringing themselves back into this, as Liquid get a lot of free money from this round, and the one to follow as well. As I think the double eco is required for a proper buy. I think that's also what's the money like again? It's so they lost 1. Okay, so yeah, they're going to need potentially another eco if they want an AWP. So yeah, really rough times here for Luminosity. Liquid getting control of the game. I'm going to execute into the side with the stack, which is quite interesting. But we've got Nitro with the first kill. Can he find anything else though? Oh, that was a very close potential frag there, but not going to happen for Luminosity, as so far it's a clean round. It's just pyth's left over. And I like how we said put earlier, so it just basically tell everyone we know how to say his name, but we actually choose to say it wrong.
Oh, I didn't see that. When did he say that?
Well, that's how you say it in Swedish. So the Swedish pronunciation. I've known that for a while.
You said he said it earlier?
No. But we said it earlier. We were saying his name earlier.
So how do I say it?
Puts.
Puts. Okay.
But pyth sounds much cooler. So
this is good decision making for Luminosity, going for the double eco. So many teams, a lot of European teams as well, go for only 1 eco here, and only buy FAMASs, some SMGs, and just lose this round and force to another eco after this. This is a much better decision than going for the 4th player.
I agree completely. I feel so happy to see them do this. It's really, really smart.
Yeah, I mean, they're only going down to 12-10, and there are CT on Mirage, so they still are favored to win this game.
Even getting damaged on here with very limited in the way of an investment.
Well, have a look at what's going on here. They found themselves 2 frags while they have lost 2 players. The bomb is holding a passive angle towards mid, starting to move through towards B, where 2 of the 3 Luminosity players are, including Peter with Galil. And it's actually a bit of a surprising angle he's holding, because the usual ones are not there, but LeX caught completely in the open will go down with no cover there, so maybe not the optimal position for him to hold. Peter will fall as well, so they had a slight advantage, but that advantage has gone. Now it's NAF versus the rest of the world, and he can try and go for this, but also bear in mind, like, he could save his armor here because it's untouched. You get a helmet for $350.
Isn't there a gun somewhere here? I think wasn't there like a Galil lying around here somewhere.
Actually, he won't even need a helmet in the next round.
Anyway. Oh, there it is. There's a gun.
And a molly bonus.
Ooh.
Found himself some swag.
But he just threw it at Misha.
I don't know. I don't know what the point of that was.
No, there was no point at all.
Because if he throws a Molotov down, if you look at the Fnatic game earlier,
can only announce his position.
Like exactly right. And if he was against Fnatic, they would have run through that smoke and shot him from short as he went through connector. Like all he's doing is telling him, "Here I am, guys."
That's like so. Like to buy that as well as a CT is like $600. It's like 200 more. It's like so valuable. It's such a good grenades. And he's gonna probably buy
just bought one. Yeah. he literally bought one.
Oh my god. All right, it's cool. It's cool.
Hey guys, I've got this Molotov. I'm gonna throw the Molotov. Hey guys, I'm gonna buy a Molotov for a mere $600. Anyway, moving on. 12-10 now. Luminosity get their chance to bring this game back to rein it in, you might say.
Ooh, nice prediction there from Liquid, having the angle there. Of course, they have the smokes to get that fast peek onto the connector if the CTs do push it, which is actually really smart. Of course, though, that's going to force Luminosity back a little bit. So this is hard. This is going to test the CT decision-making and setups now that they've kind of given up mid. I think they can still try to go for a bit of a retake, later into the round because the smokes will go away and they can try to flash in and try to keep presence and try to maybe even get a kill with the flash. But they've lost HP on NAF on pyth. So this actually looks kind of, this is kind of hard for Luminosity, I think, because they can't go for that mid retake kind of play. They have to just wait and see at the moment.
It's very odd to have the bomb go through mid, especially when there's only 45 seconds left. This means they are gonna go for execute through mid here. Probably gonna be 3 guys connector, 1 guy is low.
Yeah, bomb starting to head back. Again, FugLy rotating away from B, so they're unlikely to head in that direction as they've lost their map control now.
The time is actually a huge issue right now. They're going to leave themselves like 15 seconds to execute here. This could go very wrong for Liquid.
Right, so it's going to be 3 CTs over towards the A site. As you can see, Peter rotating into CT spawn there. I think you will see him push through the smokes that are currently going down, but with connector open and completely out of the CT's control, there will be 2 fast frags there, but 2 frags come back to Luminosity's way. Make that a 3rd, pyth taking down EliGE. So connector's been a big hole that's given frags for both sides. That's going to be down to FugLy to clutch versus 2 players. We'll see if he can do it. Anger chasing him around the box, and he will be the one to find the frag there. So Luminosity do take the round after all.
That was a nice default by Liquid though. They played it slow, took control of mid, pushed into vent room. They had all the positions they needed, and they fell back and went for an A execute. The big problem with that round for them was the awkward 30 to 40 seconds. They just waited in the middle of the round and did nothing. If they would have just rotated back straight away, they would have had mid control, 1 minute left. They could even fall back to B if they wanted in that position.
Double AWPs coming out for Luminosity now, picking up the 2nd one, so they haven't spent the cash on these AWPs. In fairness to NAF-FLY with that Molotov as well, there's a reasonable chance that his opponents will get the hell out of the way if they are holding an angle on short. Maybe to secure an exit, although. We will move on now. See if Luminosity can continue and make a little streak here. Still a bit of money on the Liquid side.
They actually have to be quite careful with the bomb there, because the bomb was kind of like actually in connector for a moment there by itself, which is kind of very very dangerous actually. And I'm not sure if, I don't think the CTs did spot it or anything, but everyone's rotating back now, and it looks like they're going to go into the B apartments. And there are actually 2 players here for Luminosity. Luminosity are in an incredibly passive setup at the moment, so I'm really unsure as to how strong the defense is going to be from Luminosity, because they actually have no information of what's going on the map. And EliGE just walked up short, and this is the issue with this, and that's going to mean that this execute should be amazing for Liquid right now. They should have no issues getting this round 1 from this position.
Yeah, this has not worked out for the Luminosity setup. That's the 3rd member they've lost, and now there's not many options for the remaining CTs. The flank coming in as well. NAF-FLY getting a consolation frag, and they're basically. See if he goes down. He's going to try and Scarpa, but he's going to be hunted by 4. And basically, NAF was holding connector with the AWP from the toll booth area, but for whatever reason. But the thing is, the problem for Luminosity there was rather than have somebody holding much closer to connector, with the 2 AWPs, they chose to have one over there. Like if you look at like Flipside, for example, if they have 2 AWPs, they've got 1 CPL and 1 short. They put NAF-FLY on toll booth. The problem was he was looking A slope and onto through connector as well. So I can only presume that they crossed short while he was looking at a slope. So it was an inefficient setup there by the 2 AWPs.
I mean, the other thing as well is that those guys with no information are like running around the B side. They're like repositioning constantly, which is also very much asking for trouble. And this like we're going to see the eco try to get some trades into T slope area. They're actually going to get a kill, and the bomb's actually moving in palace, so they might not think that it could be there because they cleared out slope and didn't see like more than 1 or 2 players. So yeah, they're going to take some frags in mid here, and it's going to be a rude awakening to see for NAF to see that the bomb is actually here, and there's 2 guys with AKs ready to just charge onto the bomb site, which is exactly what's going to happen. In the meantime, though, pyth has picked up an AK of his own, so he could actually make some damage happen here. Takes the first frag with a headshot onto adreN, but Nitro is going to make some trades happen for his team. So the round will be won by Liquid, and they're going 14 to 11. Decent damage done, but at this point, it really doesn't matter too much.
I wonder how many ecos Luminosity has had on this CT side. I'm actually gonna check. So 2 first after the pistol round, so that's 2. Then they did a double eco once again, so that's 4. And they did 1 the previous round, so that's 5. And they are how many rounds into this half?
10 rounds.
Yeah, so half of the rounds have been eco for Luminosity.
That's rough. 3 players stacked towards the B apartments here for... Oh no, okay, sorry, that was just like a bug on the minimap, never mind. that's kind of weird. Anyway, we do have one push into kitchen, so looks like they're going to actually rotate potentially one back to shop straight away with that forward position. We have no vision towards short actually, and again the connector presence is very weak here for Luminosity.
You did a little quote mark thing, like very weak for quote marks. I don't know what that means.
Did I?
Yeah. All right. So significant control of connector from Liquid. Connector always seems to be a hole in the ship in many Mirage maps on this region, but flowsicK will just be like standing on the balcony and gets taken down by Peter there. pyth will come in. pyth will come in and find himself a frag and another one. So Liquid had a strong hold on the... they had like a chokehold around the map, but they killed one player.
That was really weird actually, because they were playing super passively. Connector was for free, but it felt like it was kind of there was indecision from Liquid, and they were too slow and couldn't really capitalize on the hole there. And Luminosity decided to start pushing apps, and they kind of went downhill from there.
Now let's see if Luminosity keeps doing this funky, super defensive CT setup. It looks like they're gonna try to contest mid now. One guy pushing short.
Okay, we'll see if frag is found. So they're going to change things up in the connector area. You can see they've got the crossfire going on, so Peter's back is... he won't be subject to any surprise attacks just yet. So we may see the challenge come in, and Peter will find the first frag, but it's going to be into Palace as opposed to top mid. 3 players, and again the bomb is just creeping into connector at the moment. Going to try and get some more bangs in, but he won't do really much damage to NAF whatsoever. And that is just poor from EliGE there. Just backing up, not checking the angle he's exposing himself to. Going to be a free kill there for pyth. 3 players remaining for Team Liquid.
Yeah, this is an awful start to the round here for Liquids. Not really taking the positions properly as a team, just kind of walking people out without proper cover is definitely less than optimal. But can they save this round now? Peter's going to spot the player there, going to back away. And this is really important to play safe in a spot like this. You do not need to go and take aim duels as the CTs here with 2 men already dead for the other side. And they're going to lose anger here as Liquid go up with Nitro. He's going to make his way up jungle, but LeX does have the angle from Shadow. So this is going to work out quite nicely for Luminosity. adreN is going to have to make something massive happen here, but he'll go down instead. And Luminosity, they look to be comfortably cleaning up these rounds, despite actually not having real proper mid control or connector control at all, which usually you would expect to be very easily exploited by the Ts. Because I mean, they could turn it into like a huge push from taking short, taking like ladder room, taking connector, going into CPL, but we're not seeing any of this from Liquid at the moment.
Yeah, only leaving pyth in the vent room, it should be easily punished. Team Liquid now actually forced to an eco. They're going for a force buy. They want to pressure Luminosity's economy, so going for the Tech 9 and 8s. And for the straight up A execute here.
5 smokes and 7 flashbangs for the T side. And the Molotov and FugLy. So I'm quite curious to see where that Molotov goes for the T side, maybe in the shadow area. And they've got significant presence on the map, but the bomb is on the floor already. Hasn't been planted. Jumping frag attempt there by adreN, but he's still not going to find himself the frag. And it's going to be the CT side finding themselves a Molotov kill. 3 versus 3. The bomb goes down, which is worst case scenario covered for Liquid, but again, they did invest a lot of money to get that plant. Only FugLy remains. He's got armor as well, and he will be taken out. I mean, at that point, if you're FugLy, is it worth him just trying to run away to save his armor, or try to do damage to the CT side? 1 versus 3 in that point, is there much chance of him winning the round?
No, not at all. He should just try to go for 1 or 2 kills or back off and steal a weapon if possible.
I actually think that Liquid will go for an execute here, because this is like a super important buy round, obviously, and they've not been finding any success in middle. They've actually been losing middle, even though middle should kind of go well for them. So I'm kind of expecting an execute instead of some kind.
They've raided the nade store, Dan.
They have a lot of grenades, yeah, which is good. How will they use them? They have a player in Palace, 2 very defensive on mid, and they can go for a delayed mid take here with this and try to build interconnected control for it, and then swing back for an A execute with 3-pronged attack. But it's hard to say exactly how Liquid feel about the mid plays at the moment.
Right, so map control being taken around the mid area. It's been a while since I've seen a boost either way on those bricks around the corner of short, actually. Sometimes you see Ts do it when there are smokes there. Sometimes you see CTs do it, but I haven't seen it for a very long time indeed. Never mind that. 3 people in mid here for Team Liquid, and they're not really going to be challenged. I want to see what angle Peter's holding. He's going to move to a more passive one.
What? Oh, this could be quite important. If EliGE can just stay in this position by the ladder room, this is very dangerous. Oh, but he's going to actually step out there, just moving around so much, and that's going to mean that he's going to go down to pyth. Now, Liquid, it looks like they want to go for the XU into B after that kind of middle map control play, and the setup here from Luminosity is not too shabby at all.
3-man push here from the T side. FugLy jumping out the window, won't find a single frag. Anger getting the second one, pyth finding the third. Bomb is firmly in control of Luminosity, and they are heading towards match point here over Team Liquid.
What's the money like, actually? What are they going to be playing with into the next round? Oh my god! So they've got 4. That's going to be the 4th lost bonus. That's 2,900 in addition to what they have. So let's just see the money again. Do the quick math quickly. So
they've got AK and nades.
So 2,900. Yeah, they will be able to have AK and nades, but not any AWPs.
Not all the nades.
Unless they would want to have a glass cannon AWP. And yeah, it's not the best in the world, but it can work, I guess.
And Liquid should realize that Luminosity is playing very defensive, and it's very easy to take mid versus. That means that you should put 1 or 2 people in connector, or 1 or 2 people short, and just do a B or A split. Just abuse the fact that you can push the sites from more angles at the same time.
Yep. They seem to get stuck there though. Like for example, when they go up short and stuff, they seem to get move around a lot in these spots instead of just thinking, okay, I've got this room, I'm gonna hold this, and then now the rest of my teammates can coordinate into other positions. Then we go together. It seems like we're lacking some of that coordination there.
No, I think they're waiting for a pick once they get into those positions. We've got 4 Molotovs here for the CT side, so they may be expecting. You can see the nades are limited on the CT side as well, although I'm sure they've exhausted some already. But they're expecting, presumably, some kind of coordinated push, or attempt at a coordinated push. And these Molotovs may prove a massive pain in the behind. So, EliGE not seeing the shoulder of Anger there, but he will see the shoulder of EliGE, finding themselves the first frag, trying to hold things down, running out of bullets, taken down by Nitro. But Liquid not going to play on those kills. Again, they have shown the bomb there, and the bomb is moving a little bit away, maybe in case there's a push from the CTs, or just keeping it a little bit safer than otherwise. flowsicK lining up that grenade once again. Bomb moving through connector now as adreN takes presence in the connector area, and he will find a frag onto LeX, who tries to maneuver into a better position, and we may be headed towards overtime here.
NAF's going to go out with the AWP, gets the flash. Ooh, nice shot there from NAF. He's going to take down Nitro. That's going to delay the bomb plant and allow the CTs to get in a better spot on the retake. Peter is also lurking with an AWP. This is very dangerous for the Ts as they back away from the site, but Peter just barely misses the angle there. But pyth comes in, takes down FugLy. Now it's a 3-on-2 in favor of the CTs with that bomb ticking away, but still they've got 2 AWPs, and NAF and pyth are very low on health right now. This is very awkward for them to try to make this work. But here we go, first 1-on-1. Actually not going the way of Liquid, but there it is. We see some trades coming in. adreN. Oh, the shot was missed by Peter. He's going to make this happen with the P250 going around the Tetris area, and he gets the shot onto him, and he does have a kid as well, so it will be won by Luminosity in the nick of time. Peter will save the day. And that was a very close game, and such an odd one from so many standpoints.
Yeah, Luminosity's CT side was actually quite strong. They just lost the wrong weapon rounds, which forced them to a ton of ecos. Because if you would have just count won weapon rounds versus lost weapon rounds, I think it would be quite even.
Yeah. Yes, and also the T side was super weird as well. They lose the pistol, then win 7 of the buy rounds or something crazy on top of that. So, yeah, Luminosity very well played by them, to be honest. And actually, you know something really quick from that last round? The first kill was from Anger. He was standing in the kitchen area of the B apartments. And I don't usually see people use that angle, but actually it's quite smart, because in that at the choke point that the Ts are walking down to get into the kitchen area, actually, to have a vision of that angle, you actually have to be much closer to it than Anger does. He can be further back, which means that he sees your shoulder first, which is actually quite a nice touch. And I haven't seen, I may have seen it before, but I've never noticed that. That's actually awesome. So yeah, any thoughts? Give me thoughts. That was a crazy game.
All I have to say is that was a crazy game, really.
That was my thought, James.
That's also my thought.
Okay, that's great. What about you, Threat?
I think Team Liquid's T default were... I like the opening. They had a great... took control of mid. They used smokes. 2 people went from underground, 2 people from top mid. just abused every nade they had. It was after that, when they got mid, they seemed a bit clueless what to do.
What to do with it.
Yeah, and if the terrorists just give you mid, you should just punish them by splitting the sides, keeping it very simple. Okay, we have mid now, let's put two guys in connector, full back, and split A. Just super simple.
This is something that I see very commonly. Teams like TSM are super good at this. They'll aggressively take mid, and then even like they use that to put maybe 2 people in connector, or maybe 1 person, and sometimes even aggressively smoke it to just cover the time where the rest of the teammates rotate back out of mid around for like the triple front attack, like put 2 on Palace and 2 on Slope even, for example. That kind of stuff's very cool to see. But yeah, pretty awesome game there. We do have many more matches coming here, so we're gonna take a break to set the next one up, and we'll be back very shortly here on FACEIT TV.